lived experience is not a shield from viewpoint criticism. Your life is a continuous compilation of anecdotal evidence that can only draw you hyper-personalized conclusions. What this means is, if your argument is primarily predicated on what only you yourself have experienced, it's bad. And if you're basing the authority of your opinion on some aspect of your identity that is shared by many other people who may think differently than you, then the best results you can draw are inconclusive. For example, let's say you're a black person who has experienced some form of what you would call systemic racism in American society, and you use this experience, coupled with your being black, as the driving force behind your related philosophical and political beliefs. So because this thing, or whatever things happen to you, you consider yourself a member of an oppressed minority and believe actions have to be taken to curb the huge racism problem the nation supposedly has in your opinion. Well, if I find someone who's black who hasn't experienced your systemic racism and doesn't believe black people are inherently oppressed and refutes the existence of any national racism narrative, then the two of your experiences cancel each other's authority out. But people argue from authority based on their identity all the time anyway, and they don't know how fruitless it is. All day long you'll hear perspectives that start with, as a person of color, as a woman, as a transgender person, and then they tout the anecdotal evidence of their lived experience like it's an inarguable conclusion they found using the scientific method. I'm a Hispanic woman, I grew up this way, therefore the typical Hispanic woman grew up this way. It's that kind of logic. And straight white people will use it too. They'll just do it against themselves. They'll be like, as a straight white person, I'm going to defer to my non-straight white friends because my straightness and whiteness means I can't possibly know shit about anything, so bye. Or, as a white person, if a person of color tells me something I said was racist, I do not question it, for they are the authority on racism, and I am merely the ancestor of colonizing white monsters as I suffer from my undetectable racial biases. Please help me, O colored ones, for I cannot find the light without your darkness to guide me. If you think I'm exaggerating or strawmanning that at all, you have not spent 5 minutes on Twitter, and I envy you for that. I've seen too much. It's ruined me. Now, thankfully, it's a very small extreme minority of an already extreme minority that's like that. It's important to remember, as I mentioned in previous episodes, that social media is not an accurate microcosm of the population. It amplifies extremes and buries moderates. You won't find ideas like that on the street unless you go to an Antifa protest or a red carpet event at the Oscars. But it's easy to think that social media is real life, because it takes so much real life and puts it in your face from every direction. But what it selects is hand-picked. It leaves out all the mundane civility of face-to-face interactions. It shows you destinations, but not journeys. I've seen plenty of posts about people who say, alright guys, this is it, I'm gonna lose 100 pounds starting today. And I've seen plenty of posts of people who have lost 100 pounds. I rarely see any posts about their second day at the gym, their second week, their daily regimen, the grind and motivation it took to reach that goal. Social media says, here we go, and here we are, with nothing in between. But what's in between is life. It's the vast majority of life. Telling the truth is the best thing you can do for yourself. People bottle their emotions, they tolerate silent grievances, they lie for short-term gain, or to avoid short-term pain, they soak in a tub of falsehoods at the end of every night, stewing in a mixture of deception and omission, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to lie about things or to bite your tongue and hold something in. You create this vortex of disillusionment and discontent, and it doesn't matter what it's about either. If it's a big deal or trivial, the feeling is the same. It's just uncomfortable. And you rationalize it because you're worried about the consequences of speaking up or revealing something you're hiding, as if remaining silent doesn't come with consequences of its own, like taking a toll on your mental health and the perpetuation of whatever's currently not right with your life. The cycle doesn't end until you end it. Things don't stop on their own. They have no reason to unless you step in and step up. Take that responsibility, even if you think it might belong to someone else, because if they aren't being responsible, they're not gonna suddenly start with no push. If you're watching this, tell the truth about something you've been holding back or ignoring, come what may. Accept and endure the consequences, and when the dust is settled, recognize a more peaceful chapter of your life. If nothing else, you can value the strength of your character and internalize it for the future. I've never talked about my view on Friends. The concept, not the show. Love the show. Best sitcom ever. Ensemble cast packed with the strongest comedic talent to ever do it. Titans of physicality, delivery, timing, and superb writing. Also, people don't want to say this, but Ross is low-key the pillar of that show. He's the best of them. If you really pay attention to his performances, you'll see it. Anyway, the concept. This is my first time putting any of this into words, so bear with me. I've never really valued friendship. It's not that I'm a loner, I just see it as either pointless or a compromise, which sounds like I'm a loner, but we'll get to why that's not the case. First of all, let's get dudes out of the way. Sunburned Albino is a ladies' man. I am friends with one dude. The ratio of my interactions with people that I actually want to interact with on a gendered basis is like 10 to 1 in favor of chicks, which is funny because my audience is like 10 to 1 in favor of bros, so don't take this personally. I am not a man hater, I am just a man ignorer. Domestic Fish is an exception. One of my mods you know if you've watched any of my streams, but he's a special case because I'm basically stuck in that shit and I will never escape, so I've accepted my fate. I just like girls more. Dudes is like, why? What do I get out of being friends with a guy? Me and Fish play games online almost every night. I get to listen to him sing about dicks and talk shit about recently deceased celebrities for 2 hours, all while intermittently taking off his headset and shoving the mic up his ass so he can fart in it for me to joyfully listen to the sloppiest wet farts you've ever imagined, the kind where 20% of the time he follows it up with BRB because he has to go to the bathroom to change his fucking underwear. That's what you get out of friendship with a dude. I don't need more than one of that, if I even need one, which I don't, but I have it, so fuck me. If I ever met a girl that did that shit, I might actually push her off a cliff, because experiencing that would break me mentally and my entire outlook of the world would be ruined. Also, it would feel like a satisfying cleanse, like scrubbing out a stain on your bathroom tile. I like girls more. I'm a girl guy. But I'll tell you why, and you won't like the reason, just as some of the girls who only wanted to be friends with me didn't. I like girls because of the potential to be more than friends, whether that's friends with benefits or a casual relationship or a serious one. I am a heterosexual man, sorry bros, and I'm into the women folk. I enjoy the prospect of them liking me, or falling in love with me, or just wanting that dick. It's all good stuff, and I like to be in the ballpark of any of those options, and I don't like not being in the ballpark of any of those options. So if a girl wants to just be friends with nothing else going on, I ain't about that either, which I suppose means I am fundamentally against platonic friendships with anybody. That doesn't mean I'm incapable of starting there and working up to something, but there's gotta be something to work up to. There's been a few times where I've started a relationship type thing with a girl, but for whatever reason they cool off and want to just be friends, and they value that friendship. I become important to them, just not in the way that I'm shooting for, but so they're like, we're still gonna be friends, right? And I'm like, no. That's not what I'm looking for, and I stand by that. If a girl did that shit, nobody would blink an eye. If a girl got friend-zoned and decided to move on, people would be like, good for her. She knows what she wants. Her eggs are spoiling and time is running out. They might not say all of that, but the message would be there. I don't have eggs to get spoiled, but I do have time I'd like to avoid wasting. Girls say that in their online dating bios all the time. Don't waste my time. I'm not here to play games. Personally, I'm up for the occasional game. But ending up in a friendship with someone you were trying to date or have fun with isn't a game. That's you losing the game. You can't sell that if you market it honestly. Hey, you want to play a game where there is no game and you lost the game? That's like if football wasn't even football, it was just hanging out in the team locker room and you're the quarterback that got sacked 8 times and didn't throw a single touchdown. And then the person from the other team who kept sacking you walks up like, hey, you want to go see a movie? Like, why would you continue to subject yourself to this humiliation? You wouldn't keep throwing dollars at a stripper who never took off her skiing outfit. If you aren't getting what you want out of a relationship, you have no obligation to stick around. I believe that. Otherwise, what? Are you supposed to just maintain a series of failed connections throughout your life? Half-assed friendships? Tacking more and more of them on as you go? There's not enough time in the day. People can really only handle 1, maybe 2 good, like, ride-or-die friends. Everyone else is expendable based on the circumstances. And no matter how many frat brothers or sorority sisters you've been naked and tortured with during initiation, you know that's true. Your group of 7 that goes out to the bars on the weekends could be broken up with a thought. You don't even know 2 of them, they're just the significant others of your adjacent friends, and a third one is a cousin and you're not even sure whose. I don't care about friendship. I care about establishing and maintaining a connection and fostering its growth into something more than we could have ever imagined. Or I care about them titties. One or the other, or both. I'd certainly want the titties to go with the connection, sort of a buy one get one free deal. A connection without titties is like a Happy Meal without fries. Sure, the burger is good, but you open the bag like, excuse me, I was led to believe this shit came with fries? If I knew there weren't going to be fries, I would have ordered a burger and fries separately, and now I also feel like some chicken nuggets? The chicken nuggets don't represent anything, it's just a funny tag that also ruins the consistency of the joke. Titties without a connection is fine too, man. Sometimes you just want fries. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino. Become a channel member if you want to support the channel financially. And I will see you guys next time.